Ramble.
Thank you to Honey, HelloFresh, Macys, and Birchbox for sponsoring today's episode.
Hey guys, just to let you know, for today's episode, we are deep diving cults. And so that's going to mean a lot of talk about all of the really creepy and can be upsetting things about cults. We go into murder, suicide, the slippery slope of where it goes when you're researching these really dark topics. So if that's something that you don't want to hear, we definitely recommend maybe skipping this episode today. And we'll see you next week. For everyone else who's sticking around, please enjoy this week's episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of You Can Sit With Us. I'm one of your hosts, Becky, and I'm joined by Maggie.
Hi.
Ariel.
What's up?
And Rachel.
Hi.
And we have Miles, our little podcast pixie, hiding in the background. We are so excited for this episode. And by we, I mean I, because it's talking about one of my all-time favorite things, which is cults. We're deep diving some cults today. We've got some medical musings with Maggie. We're going to play a fun little cult game. And then we're going to end with Ariel trying to get us to join a cult that she's researched. And we're going to see how far we would get in that cult before we jumped out.
Guys, we all shop online, but thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is a free browser extension that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart.
Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites, and when you check out, the Honey button drops down, and all you have to do is hit Apply Coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons it can find for that site. If Honey finds a working coupon, you'll watch those prices drop.
I recently was buying baby clothes for Finn. He is growing out of his clothes very fast, and I saved about $15 on like an $80 purchase. So I'm pretty excited. Honey has found over 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out on the free savings. It is literally free and installs in a few seconds. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this podcast. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/sitwithus. That's joinhoney.com/sitwithus.
For our first segment, we're going to kick it over to Maggie. She is going to give us her medical myths and musings on how to join a cult.
Yeah, so there's usually an 8-step process that not all cults follow, but generally it follows the same framework. But it starts off, first, the people most susceptible to cults are people who are stressed, emotionally vulnerable, no family, or lower socioeconomic status.
I'm taking notes so that I can get you all to join my cult.
My cult! You're going to take all, and then the step 1 process begins with someone asking you to do very simple tasks. So you can ask someone to pick you up from the airport or something just very simple. And then the second step is called a love bomb, where you just flood the victim with positive and like positive associations. It's almost like operant conditioning with a dog. You tell someone to sit, you give them a treat. Not so much that you treat the participant like a dog, but you find out what the person wants, and then you kind of use that to their advantage, to your advantage.
Okay.
So it's like a person who's seeking friendship or love or a community. You ask them to do a simple task, and then you're like, oh my God, I love you. I need you so much. You're so great. You're so wonderful. I'm so glad you're here.
And it's particularly effective on people who are searching for that sort of thing.
Step 3 is finding out what is the most important thing to said victim and dangling it in front of them with a lot of promises. So what would that be for you? Animals? So if a cult had a mini farm, and they said that I couldn't be with the animals anymore, that would be the thing for me. Yeah, they would dangle that in front of my face. If you don't sign this paperwork, you can't pet that.
Or they would like dangle some sort of like, I don't know, aggression towards animals in front of you, and you'd be like, no, don't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh gosh, Ariel's already on to it.
Ariel's ready.
Oh gosh, it would probably be family. My mom just walked in with the baby, and I'm thinking like, you know, if they like threatened my family or something like that. I mean, I guess I'm thinking of this in terms of like they threaten to take away the thing that is most important to you, but maybe they kind of like, you know, for something like Scientology, for example, it would be like you're gonna meet Tom Cruise. Yeah. Every time I drive by that place, seriously, I think to myself, like, this would be a really cool place to have a wedding. You know, because they always have those like twinkly lights outside, and they have that huge area.
Ariel.
And a celebrity center on Franklin.
I'm pretty sure I could see like this beautiful gazebo over the like, you know, the tall gates, and like, you know, clearly somebody's taking care of the lawn because it just looks really nice. And I don't know.
That's exactly how the Fulmers are going to be indoctrinated. They're going to know where you live. They're going to know who your partner is. Oh my God.
They're going to be like, Ariel, don't you want a party plan for a party here? We have twinkly lights. Okay, well, to do that, you have to like talk to us about your deepest fears and sign this contract.
Oh man.
Becky, what would it be for you? What's the thing they're going to like offer you to like work towards, to get, to dangle in front of you?
Mine would probably be, and what gets me in most of the cult documentaries is I feel like they all kind of have a similar, if they're not the super religious ones where they're like, you know, doomsday or things like that, they're usually focused on like self-improvement, which I'm super into, like self-help and like things like that. So if they like offered, you know, they're like, you'll find calm in your life and you'll, you know, be able to open your mind more to other experiences, I'd be like, okay.
Sounds good. Sure.
Let's
sounds
go.
fun. Sounds good.
If Marie Kondo started a cult, I would be in that in a second.
Does it bring you joy? Yes.
Does it bring you joy?
Joy.
Imagine Marie Kondo walking off with Finn and Wes.
They'd be so organized and well dressed.
I know.
And very minimal, you know. They'd
Minimal.
have just like little simple rompers.
She has really cute daughters. Have you seen? They're adorable.
Oh, yeah.
So far, Maggie, I'm with you, and I get how someone could target like an individual and like do all these steps. What is very, and we're only on step 3. There are so many more to go. But what is mind-boggling to me is how an organization could do this to hundreds of people, tens or hundreds of people, because it seems very individualized.
I think you can apply it to many cults, these 8 steps, but I don't think that they are, I don't know. I don't think that they're looking at these 8 steps and being like, okay, we need to take this step and this is how we're going to manipulate people.
Yeah. I wonder if it's more like a psychological thing, like how like the stages of grief are like everyone will kind of universally go through those stages, whether it's in the same framework of time or not. So maybe it's more of like a general consensus that that's what people are like susceptible to. Are these steps more for brainwashing, or would it be more considered like a type of hypnosis?
It wouldn't be hypnosis per se. It's just It's like the 8 steps of indoctrination. Like, this is how we do it. This is how we
have 5 more.
We have 5 more. So
okay, what's 4?
The 4th one is getting an agreement somehow, either if it's verbal consent or an actual like signed document. Do you know, with all your cult research, did any of the cults require you to sign off? Like, you can't leave.
NXIVM had like a bargaining system where you were, Rachel, what was the word they used? It was like you were not responsible. Collateral. You had to offer collateral.
What sort of things were people offering?
Well, it was more of like, and similar to what I've heard Scientology does, is they will ask something of you that is like deeply personal, or like with NXIVM, sometimes it was like naked pictures. people would lie about their families. Yeah. And they would say, this is just to keep you accountable, that that we have this and we could release this if you don't take this seriously.
HelloFresh lets you skip those trips to the grocery store and makes home cooking easy. With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. It's fun and affordable, and that's why it's America's #1 meal kit.
HelloFresh is 46% cheaper than shopping at your local grocery store, plus you skip the line at checkout.
There is something for everyone in a HelloFresh box, including weekly low-calorie, vegetarian, and, my favorite, family-friendly recipes. Over 90% of ingredients are sourced directly from farmers to ensure only the freshest produce and proteins are delivered right to your door.
And by using HelloFresh, you can reduce your food waste by at least 25%.
So Ned and I had a date night recently where we made the pan-seared scallops in lemon butter sauce, and it was pretty awesome. I don't think we could have had that nice of a meal even if we had gone out.
Go to HelloFresh.com/sitwithus10 and use code SITWITHUS10 for 10 free meals, including free shipping. That's 10 free meals and free shipping at HelloFresh.com/sitwithus10 and use code SITWITHUS10.
Some of these places, they sort of encourage people to like move in together and, like all live in the same place. And so that could sort of be considered a contract in some way too, where, you're like, you have decided to live with us, to move into our commune, and we're feeding you and
right.
All that kind of stuff. And so I could think of that as kind of a contract as well, like you've made this decision, you've made this
you've signed a lease into, and it's kind of hard to move a family once you've kind of established ground in somewhere. That's definitely some sort of contract. And then so step 5 is shutting down dissent, so any sort of disagreement or by threat to withhold the prize, which is most important to said victim. So self-improvement.
I can only compare this to Nexium, but they were like, what's wrong with you that you're questioning this? You should look deeper into that. The fact that you have a problem with this shows that there's something wrong with how you're thinking of what's with you. You should really investigate that.
And it made people question their own self-judgment, which literally changed their brain chemistry.
Yeah. It rewired how they think. Mm-hmm. They had no intuition left. None.
Yeah. It sounds like psychological warfare. It's so scary.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, it's emotional abuse for sure.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of conversion therapy. What's wrong with you?
Oh my God.
You need to look deeper into yourself. It's fucked up. And then step 6 is just the establishment of guilt.
But kind of saying that you are the problem, not us.
And then once you have those feelings of guilt, maybe you try and compensate by doing more for the cult, volunteering your time, yada, yada.
Guys, the cult experts say the only difference between cults and religion is time. Because you just described, that's tithings in Christianity.
Oh my God.
You're supposed to give 10% of your earnings to the church. You're supposed to volunteer your time. You're not allowed to question the rules.
And they're dangling this afterlife, higher power. You can create purpose and meaning in your life by serving God. You can get to a heaven, or you have to go to a hell. They just dangle it until you can be a part of a family or a community.
Step 7, they say, is the carrot on the stick, where it's operant conditioning.
I would think it's getting time with the guru. It's getting to the higher plane of existence. It's achieving
It's a
the
one-on-one
thing.
on The Bachelor.
I think it's the prize. Oh, it's the
Matt
rose.
James.
The Bachelor's a cult.
You know what?
The Bachelor is a cult.
If Matt James
Bachelor
is the carrot,
Nation.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
That's
get a
a
little bit of
good
time
carrot.
with him.
Yeah.
You sign away, your rights where they say they can make fun of you and
Zach
you
goes,
do.
OMG, you're right.
He's right.
Yeah, Bachelor
it is a
Nation is a
cult.
cult.
I'll say the only difference is they willingly sign up for the cult. They know.
But that's how they all start.
And it starts with asking them to do simple tasks like go on this date with me, take a like a bike ride with me, take these wedding photos with me. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And then you start falling in love with this. You start falling in love with this dude or woman. And yeah.
And they make you tell like all your secrets. Like they're always like,
That's true.
Tell me something
yeah.
more. Tell me something, deeper.
Yeah. On a
And it's
previous
usually
meeting, they're
something
like,
really sad.
yeah, they have to, they're like, I want someone to be more open with me.
Vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
And unpackage their previous trauma. It's crazy.
Open to this process. If you just are open to this process, I know it can work.
Jeez.
Bachelor Nation cult.
Can you imagine being just on a regular real date in real life? You're like having a glass of wine at a restaurant before dinner, and your date looks at you and is like, if you're open to this process, I know it can work. You would run. You'd be like,
And they have to sign NDAs.
Look, The Bachelor, some people do find love. Some people do get married. So I just think they're the same. I think they're the same as that entry-level class.
You know what they do find is they find fame. I mean, isn't that a big thing that like people know that if they go on The Bachelor and that they're like memorable, that people are going to remember them and find them. And
the 8th step is controlling identity, info, and environmental resources. So that in talking about The Bachelor, that's all their personal info, and they could give them a bad edit.
And like on Big Brother and other reality shows, when they don't let you look at your phone or like hear about the news, so they're real world, they're controlling like your news sources.
They don't let you talk to your family in NXIVM or The Bachelor.
they are the same.
Thanks for teaching us all how to indoctrinate each other into a cult.
Ariel, all her steps. Ariel's ready to be a wedding planner at the Scientology church.
You guys, I have devised a game for you.
Yes.
A fun, scary game that sent me down some dark rabbit holes on the internet.
No.
Tell
us
So
all
we're
about
calling
it.
this, we're calling this Two Truths and a Cult. So I have researched 4 cults. And for each cult, I'm going to give you 2 facts and one totally made up lie about the cult. At the end of the round, so 4 rounds, I'll tell you what the cult was and which statement was a lie. Sound fun?
I love this
Sounds
game
very
already.
fun.
It's like a really fucked up trivia game.
Yeah.
Because you realize that like once you've like gone in like deep dived like 4 or 5 cults, you're like, wow, you all kind of do the same thing, and it's usually violent and sexual and bad. And you're like, oh my god,
What was the name of the cult from Wild Wild Country? Do you remember the name of it? Because that one started off cool, as I remember. I haven't watched many cults.
Rajneeshis?
Rajneeshi.
Yeah.
Rajneeshpuram.
Bhagwan.
Rajneeshpuram was a religious intentional community.
So here is the first cult. So again, 3 statements. 2 of them are going to be totally true. 1 of them is going to be totally false. Let me know which one you think is false, and then I'll tell you what the cult is and which statement was indeed false.
Present this in your best Becky was destined to be a newscaster voice.
Oh my god, yeah, it's very similar to my trivia voice.
Yes.
Okay, so cult number 1. Play along at home if you're listening. So, the leader said he was a centuries-old angel who needed to have sex with young girls to stay alive. Every member had to bleach their hair and then dye it red. And their way of making money was to scam insurance companies.
What?
Which of these is a lie?
Do cults just come down to really complicated, fucked up ways for guys to have sex with a bunch of girls?
Yes, is what I'm learning.
Certainly seems like
I don't understand how people, I guess, through all the steps, it just, I don't know. I guess from the get-go, if someone told me that, I'd be like, you are not
right.
well.
They don't tell you that
you
from the
crazy?
get-go. I think they like condition your brain first, and then they tell you that at the end. Okay, so they had to shave their head, bleach their hair, dye it red. They'd have sex with this old angel to keep him alive.
Yeah.
And then they scammed insurance companies to make money.
Got to make money somehow.
To make money.
I'm going to go with the red hair. That seems
I'm gonna go with the red hair too.
not as extreme.
That's what I think too. Because the others seem so outlandish, they got to be true.
Yeah.
And you are correct. That is the lie. Them dyeing their hair was made up by Keith Haversberger. So this cult was called Angel's Landing. And their leader, Daniel Perez, thankfully was handed 2 life sentences plus 406 months in jail with no possibility of parole for 80 years.
I love that he got 2 life sentences plus 400 more months.
Yeah.
What is that about?
In case you live a second life, you're still not allowed
And
out.
in case you live a third life, 400 months jail.
Just in case he is an angel. You're stuck
You never
there
know.
forever.
Right.
That is so funny. Is he still
Not
alive,
crazy.
but incarcerated?
I think he's still alive because that was just in 2015. But the reason that he went to jail for also having sex with the young girls was the way that they scammed insurance companies was they would murder people in the group and then collect the insurance. Like they would be like, oh, it was an accidental drowning, or like, oh, they had some sort of medical condition and that's like they got hit by a car and they died, and the insurance company paid millions.
What?
When you said scammed insurance companies, I pictured paperwork for some reason.
Same.
Yeah.
Full on murderers.
That sounds
pictured,
really
They made
messy.
money by killing their own, and he had to stay alive by having sex with young women. Mm-hmm. There's just
Where do they find these people?
Valentine's Day is coming up, and you know how Macy can help listeners have a better day with their loved ones? It doesn't really matter who you're shopping for. They have different price points for any sort of budget, from $25 all the way to $100. I have been eyeballing an air fryer for our kitchen because Zach and I have been cooking a lot. It's super hard to shop for Zach because we live together and it's hard to keep secrets, but with Macy's, I can shop pretty much anything. There is nothing more romantic than an air fryer and crispy French fries.
You know, Maggie, I have been shopping for Ned as well for Valentine's Day, and I've actually been thinking of getting him a mixer attachment to make pasta because he is obsessed with pasta right now. You can even go big with something off their Luxe gift list, like diamond studs, tennis bracelets, smartwatches, and even mixers. Head over to Macys.com/gifts guide to find the perfect Valentine's Day gift this year.
Have you guys ever gotten those text messages where it's like, this person, I got one of these last week where they were saying a couple wanted to donate money to me because they had won the lottery.
No.
And it just took a quick Google search. I was like, who are these people? And it was a giant
like,
scam.
okay, sure.
Yeah, I was like, I'd like to collect some money. I was like, this is clearly a scam. And they're preying on older people.
Oh my
to kind of
God.
fall for it.
Like Maggie.
that is nuts. Like
Like
Maggie.
me. I know. I was like, I woke up one morning. I was like, what's this about? But yeah, they steal your insurance information or your banking information. They're like, we need to transfer the money to you. Please give me your credit card information.
I heard a statistic about those that it was the elderly are targeted like more than anyone else, and they're the ones who like fall victim to it the most because they're usually the most vulnerable.
Yeah.
Tell your grandmas, don't give out credit card information over text, email, or the phone. Whenever.
Yeah, they'll say that we have your son, and if you don't wire money to us, and they'll have their voice or something like that. Zach's family friend actually fell for one of those.
Gosh. Well, I mean, if you think about it, like our grandparents, 50, 60 years ago, people didn't lock their doors. Like they
didn't
more
grow up with credit
trustworthy.
cards.
Right, exactly.
True.
Credit cards or the internet or, I mean, if somebody was going to scam you, they were going to walk up to your door and they're
going to steal your pocketbook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, that was, in my opinion, the easiest of the rounds.
Okay.
So it's going to get a little bit harder because the cults get a little weirder and everything sounds like it's fake.
Weirder than that?
Weirder than that. Yeah. Okay, so this next one. Joaquin Phoenix was actually born into this cult. The members were encouraged to recruit new members using sex And they were considered an organized militia that stockpiled guns and ammunition.
Okay.
I'm gonna recuse myself from this one.
Oh, you know.
I think I did hear
do
about
know.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix
Maybe.
Joaquin and River Phoenix were born into this cult. They stockpile guns and weaponry because they're a militia. And what was the third one?
The members were encouraged to recruit new members using sex.
These all sound true because the second one,
know.
the militia one, that sounds like Waco.
I'm going to guess it's the guns that sex was used as a recruitment. Although it could be either. Sex and weapons go hand in hand in cults, it feels like.
I think I may have heard the Joaquin Phoenix fact, but I'm not sure. So maybe I'll say that one was false.
So, and the reason Ariel recused herself is because she has already also researched this was the Children of God cult. And they did actually encourage their members to recruit new members using a tactic called flirty fishing, where they encouraged people to have sex with people that they were trying to get into the cult. And Joaquin Phoenix and his family were in this cult. But once they started doing the like flirty fishing and once things got a little weirder, they left. So Joaquin Phoenix was only in it until he was like 3. And then they were not an organized militia.
Apparently, Rose McGowan, too, was born into this cult.
She was as well. Yeah, because they had different communes all over the world. And she grew up in Italy, I believe. And so her family was a part of the cult. But the leader, David Brandt Berg, and I hope you found out more than I did, Ariel, but I just saw that he died with seemingly no consequences. And Children of God still exists today with a different name.
Yeah.
What? That's
It's called
wild.
the Family International now, TFI for short. And it still exists.
So what is flirty
It's insane.
fishing? Everyone flirts with anyone, even if you're
They
married?
would just try and recruit people by having sex with them. So like going to bars and picking people up.
okay.
Yeah, and using that.
And then basically being like, my body is the love of God. And like, I am giving you God's love through me.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh,
It's nuts. But guys, if you think that's nuts, these next two are obscene. They're just so crazy. So here are your facts and your fictions. The members of this cult lived in a cave for 6 months. They only ate processed meat and cheese. No fruit or veggies were allowed. And they rejected barcodes and passports because they contained satanic symbols.
oh my God.
Oh my
Oh
Lord.
my God. So they lived in a cave for 6 months. They only ate processed meats and cheese.
No
Sounds
fruit
like
or vegetables
constipation
allowed.
nation.
Sounds like keto.
They were keto and they
Rejected
no
barcodes
barcodes.
and passports.
Barcodes because of satanic symbols. Yeah.
I'm going to go with the second one, with the packaged meat, because I feel like the satanic rejecting satanic barcodes and living in a cave go hand in hand.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Keto was my instinct as well, or the barcode. Okay, I'm gonna say they didn't live in a cave.
I'm going to say the barcodes then.
Guys, Ariel is correct.
Whoa.
This group, processed meat and cheese does not matter. This was a crazy cult in Russia. They called themselves the Heavenly Jerusalem, but they were a doomsday cult. So other people called them I think they were like the New Russian Orthodox Church order is what they were referred to by like the media because they broke off from a sect of Russian Orthodox. But I'm going to butcher his name. Pyotr Kuznetsov was the founder. And so he predicted that the end of the world was coming and that they all had to go into this cave. He didn't go into the cave with them. He was out of it. So they get in the cave. The end of the world does not come. Pyotr is basically having a psychotic break. He is paranoid schizophrenic. He does eventually get taken in by the police. But I don't really know how Russia's mental health system works, because it doesn't seem like he went to jail. He just like was observed. But the members stayed in the cave for 6 months. There was the part of the cave broke during a snowfall, and 2 members died in the cave. Some people left. They were like, the cave is broken. We have to leave. They got out. The other people that stayed in only left when the toxic fumes from the dead bodies were like too much. That was the only way they came out. And they threatened suicide if anyone came in, because there were like medical workers and like people there trying to help them, because obviously they didn't want them to die. But Piotr then, while they were still in this cave, attempted suicide. And nobody really knows where he is now.
Whoa.
I just couldn't find anything on the internet to say like exactly where he was. And when I was telling Keith about him, he was like, the government must have.
The government.
You know,
Taken him?
he's got to be.
Wait, so
No more.
how many people are we talking about?
30 in Russia. And like, I think it was like 12 or 13 left the cave when the snowfall broke part of it. But there were still like 9 or 10 that stayed in the cave with the 2 dead bodies. But it seemed horrifying. Would you guys ever live in a cave? I mean, I won't even go camping. So like, would you guys ever live in a cave?
In a cave in Russia with a crazy man who believes his passport is satanic symbols? No. That's going to be a hard no.
I've seen a lot of movies, man. Nothing good happens in caves. Just gonna say that.
Given no other choice, like if it was cave or no cave, I would choose cave. But
I would choose Arctic tundra.
I don't know. On Lost, when like half of the group moves into the cave, I'm like, I'm staying on the beach. That jungle is haunted.
Yeah.
I would have stayed in the
moving
beach
to the
too.
beach.
Yep.
100%.
I'm on the beach. I know what's going on there. I have open air
I'll build
around
myself
me.
an igloo. I'm not going
There are
to
no
cave.
skeletons.
That is like the scariest thing about a cave is that there's only one exit and entrance.
So the final and craziest cult that was the scariest to research.
These are fascinating, by the way. There's a reason why we can't look away from them.
And this one in particular really fucked me up.
Hit you where you live.
So
Becky, are you okay? Are you okay, Bex?
Well, it was just like reading about it was so dark and so leveled. Like there were so many levels to this one.
You guys, Ned is always using my makeup. I can never find my concealer anywhere, and it runs out twice as fast as it should. If only I had a simple and personalized way to explore my options. Especially if you're less beauty obsessed and a little bit more beauty casual like me, the best way to really get to know new products is with expert guidance from Birchbox.
Birchbox is great because it gives you travel-sized options. You're not forced into buying giant packages worth of product.
Every month, Birchbox experts send you 5 samples tailored to your unique beauty profile. And they wrap it all up in a beautiful box. You can test drive products at your own pace. And if you find something that you like, you can buy the full size on Birchbox.com.
Join the Birchbox community today by heading over to birchbox.com/sitwithus and get 50% off your first box when you use promo code SITWITHUS. That's promo code SITWITHUS at birchbox.com/sitwithus for 50% off your first Birchbox. Birchbox.com/sitwithus.
I wonder if it was not very responsible of us to allow Becky to do this, since she is the most susceptible to cults, and letting her look up all of these cults.
Tempting fate.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Now I'm
figuring
feeling
out which
really
one
bad.
I'm gonna join. No, I'm more of a Nexium joiner than like go in the cave. Like if someone was like, Becky, you have to go in the cave, I would be like, good day. I'm gonna find a church instead. Okay. So this cult, they believe the apocalypse would be brought about by the United States starting a war. They believed that they were angels waiting to ascend to heaven. And they executed a sarin gas attack on a subway.
I'm going to guess the angel.
Angel. They did not think they were angels. Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
Yeah.
Ariel, what you got?
So my guess is going to be the The United States one.
I'm with Maggie. I think the subway attack is real, and I think the war thing is real and targeting the US. I don't think they think they're angels.
So Maggie and Rachel are correct.
Yeah.
So this cult did not believe that they were angels. So this cult is horrifying to me. So the sarin gas attack was executed in a Tokyo subway. It was a Japanese cult created in the 80s by, and I'm going to butcher these names, so I already apologize for not saying them correctly. But the leader was called Shoko Asahara, and the doomsday cult was called Ayum Shinrikyo. But it was a doomsday cult. And they did believe that the United States was going to bring about the end of the world by doing a third world war. And it was the terror attack that they did in the subway killed 13 people and injured 50 people. And then this is where it gets nuts. So the cult, 6 of the cult members and the leader were actually publicly executed because those same members of the cult, there was a class action lawsuit against the founder that had started. And the founder and these 6 other people killed the lawyer in charge of it, as well as his wife and daughter. What? And so they were executed for not only killing the people in the subway attack, but also for killing this lawyer and his family.
And his
super horrible. And it gets even darker. So they were executed in like 2018. Like this was recent.
When these cults are modern, I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah.
I always think, it's a time when information wasn't at our fingertips and readily available.
No.
Oh, it
was
definitely happened now.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
There's
and
definitely
then
cults happening now too.
There was a guy that was like basically like a sympathizer with the cult, and who was also protesting the death penalty in Japan. And he ran his car into like 9 pedestrians as like a protest. Like it is so fucked up. A sect of this cult still exists today and is on like it's even on like Russia's watch list as a terrorist group because they're just like bad people.
I feel like sarin gas is not easy to get. You know,
I hope not.
They can't. So like, yeah, they're a terrorist group. Like, they're probably, I don't know, dealing in arms and.
Yeah, there were a couple other cults that I saw that like there wasn't a lot of information about, but there was one cult in Mexico where it was like basically drug dealers, and they were doing these like ritualistic killings to like protect their drug business. Like they said it was part of their like religious protection was to do these like human sacrifices. And I was just like, at a certain point, the cults get like, I mean, they're all horrifying, but these last few were like so scary.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's important for us to define what cult means because, you know, we've been talking about this whole time, you know, like, oh, the Bachelor is a cult and this is a cult and this is a cult. There are so many things that could be a cult. So let's see what a cult actually is. Okay. I just did a quick Google search and noun, system of religious veneration and devotion directed towards a particular figure or object. I think The Bachelor as a cult is actually quite apt.
Yeah. I mean, compared to these other cults, it's sounding pretty good. But
until something bad
does
happens.
it fit the description? Yes. There's no ritualistic sacrifice of murder. There might be a ritualistic sacrifice of reputation.
Or character.
Yeah.
Chris Harrison's the leader.
But that's every reality show ever, pretty much, except for like British Bake Off.
I would join that cult. I would join
me
the
too.
British Bake Off cult.
I'm deep into that cult.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you guys wouldn't join any of these 4 cults?
Oh, Becky, no.
Me neither. I drew the line at all of these. I was like,
hell no.
Nope.
Okay, you guys. This segment is geared towards Becky because we think that she is the most susceptible to joining a cult. So I have researched a cult that either did exist or still exists, and I am going to use that information to try to convince you to join this cult. So
I'm in.
All right, Happersburger.
Becky, Rachel, Maggie. Are you concerned with moral decay in the world? Because if you are, this is the cult for you.
I mean, after hearing about all the shit humans are doing, why, yes. Yes, I am.
Yeah, I guess now I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
The last 4 years were tough. I'm worried about moral decay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this organization is committed to sharing the message of God's love with everyone.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out too. God's love.
See you.
Smell you later.
All right. Let's skip that part. We have a very strong opposition to capitalism and feel that everything belongs to everyone, including children.
No, now I'm out again.
Children are the most special. Maybe I can try to convince you back in because we strongly believe that every child should have at least an 8th grade education.
Oh, I believe that.
This organization was founded in Huntington Beach, California, which is a beautiful place, as Maggie probably knows.
Like the beach.
And it was founded in 1968.
Is this real?
It is a real place. It started with the name Teens for Christ. But quickly was changed to the Children of God because we're very, very, children are very important to us. Very important. In the 70s, the name got changed to the Family of Love. And then in the 80s, it was simply just called the Family. And it still exists today, although the name was changed to the Family International because we have spread to over 80 countries. TFI for short.
Whoa.
If I can lure you in with some star power, Joaquin Phoenix and Rose McGowan were both born into this cult. Although unfortunately they are no longer members. And we like to think of our ideals as an old world idea of Christianity, which is largely centered around spreading love in the world. Particularly sex.
That First Testament, getting down, making humans.
Yeah. And maybe we can help you understand why we're called the family. Because one of the main ideas that we have is that everyone in our group is married to each other. And so open sexuality, even the children, open sexuality is permitted and encouraged, including with children. And to this day, you are encouraged to develop a sexual relationship with Jesus.
Followers are fucked up. That is so fucked up.
It gets worse.
There's nothing
it
else
gets
to be
worse.
said.
I know it gets worse though. Like
How
it's
could
so
it get
dark.
worse?
It's so dark.
Okay, Ariel, take us there. Take us into the
right.
cave.
God,
Let's go.
I can't believe this exists.
Followers are often guided through personalized sexual fantasies as a part of their Holy Communion. And they also believe that masturbation is the same as having sex with Jesus.
Oh my God.
And they don't believe in homosexuality. So if you are a man in this cult, you have to pretend that you are a woman when you are masturbating because you're having sex with Jesus.
What?
Right.
That's
What?
fucked up.
Oh my God.
As a member of this cult, as Becky mentioned, you are also encouraged to go out and spread God's word by having sex with other people and bringing them
Flirty
in.
fishing.
Flirty fishing.
Flirty fishing. Flirty fishing is such a benign name for such a malicious, fucked up thing. It sounds fine. It sounds like the name of like a dance at a college that you would go to that had like an ocean theme.
It sounds like
flirty
speed
fishing.
dating. It sounds like speed dating. Like, come over to my house. We're going to have a flirty fishing party. Cool. Be there.
I'm sure it wasn't not like that. And so Becky, you talked about David Berg, the founder. And so Becky, I know that you like to read. It's really important to you. And I don't know if you know, but David is an avid writer. And he wrote over 3,000 pamphlets that, included titles
like the Mo something. Right? Weren't they called like Mo letters or?
Yeah, they called them like Mo pamphlets or something. I don't even know.
It's like Q drops. Like it's weird. It's such a weird idea.
But some of the so they were geared towards children, and a lot of them were actually comic book style. So half of the pamphlets were sort of like comic book style. Some of the titles of these were God's Love Slave and You Are the Love of God. And they're just like, naked women sort of talking to you could look it up if you look up like Children of God pamphlets.
I'm gonna look it up.
Oh boy. The members of TFI right now are in 1993, 70% of the members were under the age of 18.
Mm-hmm. I know our podcast name is You Can Sit With Us. None of these people can sit with us. Jesus.
That's true.
Cannot sit with us.
My
What?
gosh.
If you broke out of that cult, come on over. But if you're still in, you need to talk to someone who's not in your life.
Well, if they're young, they're clearly
They don't know.
preying on people who aren't.
I'm going to reference the NXIVM documentary all the time. There was a moment when Mark, who I think is problematic, but when he said he got really mad and he was like, no one joins a cult. I didn't join a cult. Okay. I did something and then I was led into a cult. I didn't join it. And I think people in cults who are not the leaders, although that guy did end up taking a leadership position and I find him highly problematic, but aren't especially kids or young people aren't necessarily joining. They're being led in by flirty fishing, by NXIVM classes, by people reaching out to them, by someone they trust. And I think
it could simply be shelter too. Shelter, food, community, the basic necessities they're promising. Oh,
love.
Okay, I would not join this cult.
No, I
would not join this cult.
The moment you mentioned God, I was like, we're out of here.
We're out.
You roped in my kids, and I was like, we're doubly out. These pamphlets are horrifying. I'm looking at the flirty fishing right now.
Yeah.
Hollywood sex cults before NXIVM. Flirty fishing. Wow. The thing is, I would watch 10 documentaries on it, though.
I know. Although
I'm fascinated.
There are parts that I don't even want to talk about on the pod that I looked into that are the stuff with kids. It starts to get really.
No, I can't.
It's too much. It's too much. I can't handle that level of creepiness.
No.
So wait, this stuff is known. It's obviously easily researched, and yet this guy is not in jail. I don't understand. How is this still happening?
He's dead.
Oh, he's dead.
He's dead. So now it's just it's almost like an organization that started. I think his wife carried on after he died, and it's just a religious organization now that has these sort of creepy past.
Well, guys, that is all the time we have left for today. Thank you so much for sharing all you know about cults with me. If you want to join our cult here at You Can Sit With Us, you can like and subscribe and download us on Spotify. You can email us at youcansitwithuspod@gmail.com. The requirements of our cult are friendship, baking, crafting, reality TV watching. Anything else, guys, that we should do in our cult?
I mean, I feel like just general non-judgment.
Yeah.
Yes, love it. Maggie, anything for our cult?
Puppies.
Puppies. Yes. And Rach, what should we have? What's our final cult doctrine?
We're going to have coffee. We're going to have sparkling water. We're going to have wine. And we're going to have a lot of snacks. Guys, yes. We're well fed in this cult.
Love it. Well, yeah, guys, email us. Let us know if you liked this kind of new format of us deep diving a particular topic. We're going to be back next week with something new and exciting. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, wear your mask, wash your hands.
Don't join any cults.
Don't join any cults.